Hey friends, welcome to my mosaic studio over here in tropical West Virginia. Actually, it was hot today, but I digress. Before I show you this video, I want to give you a little bit of the backstory on it. A few weeks ago, my wife and I spent the night over at her mom's house, a small town in West Virginia. And I woke up, was ready to drink my coffee and looking for the newspaper. I couldn't find a newspaper. But on her end table, I found an old book of poems. So I started reading and reading and reading and reading. And the book was really good. There were poems of all kinds in there. There were inspirational poems, poems about God, patriotic poems, funny poems, poems about nature. And there was one poem in particular. It was called The Path That Leads to Nowhere. And it reminded me of Sally and her rambles over in the UK. Now listen, I know I'm not the only one who likes to see her pictures and listen to her descriptions of her rambles over there in England. Many of us do. But I was particularly reminded of her with this poem, and I started taking pictures with my phone of all the different poems in there, the pages. Because her mom lives in a dead zone. There's no internet there. You're lucky if you can walk around in the yard and find a spot where you can send a text out. So I started taking pictures. I thought when I get back to town, I'll share some of this stuff on Facebook. So I get back to town and I put a couple of them on Facebook. And I actually sent a picture of the poem, The Path That Leads to Nowhere, to Sally. And she responded with something to the effect of, I'm not sure because I can't find it. That is the most wondrous poem ever. There should be a recitation of this poem on YouTube or something like that. Okay, it was close enough. So let me tell you something. When the Cabernet Queen requests a recitation of the poem that you send her, all I can say is, as you wish. Enjoy. The Path That Leads to Nowhere. There's a path that leads to nowhere in a meadow that I know, where an inland river rises and the stream is still and slow. There it wanders under willows and beneath the silver green of the birches' silent shadows where the early violets lean. Other pathways lead to somewhere, but the one I love so well had no end and no beginning, just the beauty of the dell, just the windflowers and the lilies, yellow striped as adder's tongue, seem to satisfy my pathway as it winds their sweets among. There I go to meet the springtime when the meadow is aglow, marigolds amid the marshes and the stream is still and slow. There I find my fair oasis, and with carefree feet I tread, for the pathway leads to nowhere, and the blue is overhead. All the ways that lead to somewhere echo with the hurrying feet of the struggling and the striving, but the way I find so sweet bids me dream and bids me linger. Joy and beauty are its goal. On the path that leads to nowhere, I have sometimes found my soul. Well, I hope you all enjoyed that. I just want you to know all those pictures that were in that video were taken by Sally on her adventures in the UK. Sally, thanks for sharing with us, and please keep it up. All right, see ya.